place at the end of the month. It's been cancelled by the venue. The author, Nick Buckley, helped organise the Free Speech Matters event. It was to be held in the Quakers' Friends Meeting House in Manchester. The venue was approached for comment, and they said, Manchester Friends Meeting House routinely asks for lists of speakers appearing at public events in our building. We need to ensure that events will not conflict with Quaker values and will involve a safe and peaceful atmosphere. On this occasion, we were not assured that all the speakers would meet these criteria. Delighted to say Nick Buckley joins me now. Nick Buckley, welcome to you. Were you surprised it was cancelled?
I was actually. We had some very good discussions with them at the beginning, very upfront. But even the title of the event was even open, Free Speech Matters. It was about free speech.
What got them spooked?
I'm not 100% sure. They knew what the topic was. They said the only communication we had with them, they said they didn't want the audience to be inflamed and that would make the venue unsafe for people. So we said to them, well, we'll show you all the speeches. We'll share the speeches with you now, just so you can see what people are talking about. But they didn't want to see them. And if I had to be honest, I think they probably thought about it. And like everybody these days, they thought, is it really worth it? Is it worth complaints? Is it worth protests? And the whole event, it wasn't about topics. It was about free speech. So we had 3 questions we were going to answer, which was, what is free speech? Why is it important? And how do we protect it? They were the 3 questions we were addressing on the afternoon.
Am I right in remembering, Nick, that it was the Quakers, especially during World War I, who populated the ranks of conscientious objectors quite so much?
Yes, I mean, when you look at the Quaker history, they've often been on the so-called wrong side of what society thought at the time. They were instrumental in the fight against slavery. They used their free speech then to combat that evil trade. They also thought the votes for women was a great idea, so they used their free speech again to fight for women to get the vote. Then during the First World War, they didn't want to fight because it's against their religion, which is fair enough. So they were conscientious objectors. So there's been many times where people have branded them the others, but they use their free speech. And for them now to look at free speech in general, and let's be honest, they've just gone woke. I remember 2 years ago, they were one of the big buildings in Manchester City Centre that had Black Lives Matter plastered all over it. So they've just gone woke and forgot their own history.
Nick Buckley, I've just got Christine Hamilton with me in the studio. I think she's got a question. Christine.
Well, I've got 2 questions. I wondered if there was somebody on your list of speakers that they were objecting to. That's the first question, a particular person. And secondly, I was interested by what you said, that they possibly thought it's not worth it. And I think that is one of the great dangers of society at the moment. People, for understandable reasons, people think it's not worth the hassle. And it's not worth the hassle putting my head above the parapet on Twitter, on social media, which is why I think the views of a vast majority of people don't get heard, because people think, I'm not putting my head out there, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, so 2 questions. The first question is, they were more concerned over one of the speakers more than others. That's true.
Wasn't J.K. Rowling, was it?
Unfortunately not. And they also offered us to go ahead with the event if we cancelled that one speaker. And my answer was, well, it wouldn't be a free speech event then, would it? It would be these people allowed to speak event. And I think when they talked about, I mean, we asked them, have you had any complaints? No. Have you had any threats? No. So what is this really about? And if I wanted to be fair to them, because they are lovely people, if I wanted to be fair, I would say they're also victims in this. Because the environment we've created over the last couple of decades means good Christian people are also afraid of the mob coming for them.
Exactly.
And what and they're just doing what everyone else does, which is personal convenience, and it's a shame.
It's understandable, but it's running scared, and it's a great shame.
Nick Buckley and Christine Hamilton, we're going to leave it there, but try and find somewhere else, Nick, maybe. Thanks for joining us.